I really appreciate everyone's time and allowing me to join today's call. Hi, turn my camera on. Picture's a little different, right? Had some hair on there. I just took a little bit off the top. So yes, I really appreciate it. Talking about the program. It is active for you to join. So if you're interested in joining, please send me an email and I will ensure to copy and paste my email into the chat today. So, at a high level, PrimeStreet is a referral source where we qualify online leads and then live transfer them to the agents that match their client's location and needs. So the way that the service works is whenever a client goes online to submit information or to request information, whether they're thinking about selling their home or to start the buying process, and then when they submit a form, that's where we step in, right? Our customer service team reaches out to that client very quickly within, 5 to 6 seconds on average of them submitting their request. From there, we take the client through our structured interview to learn more about what they're looking for. And then we ping the available agents in the area who can match the criteria of what the client is looking for, right? Location, price point, and the services offered. So as you can see here on my screen, everyone, the agents are ranked based off in a priority from top to bottom, based on performance and based on other metrics and settings that you will input into your application. Now, whenever this comes through, I kind of think of it as an Uber for a lead, right? The first agent in the area that, it gets sent to, you have 5 to 6 seconds to respond to that referral. Now, if you don't respond to that referral, it's going to go to somebody else and somebody else and so on and so forth until someone hits accept. So theoretically speaking, if you are the 6th in line and you're the first one to click accept, you will receive a congratulations notification letting you know that you've won the referral and to expect a phone call from one of the wonderful CSRs. So just to do a quick little recap, the PrimeStreet customer service representative screens every single customer for transaction readiness. The referral invitations are sent out in the ranking order to the agents depending on the settings that you input into your application and the best likelihood. So if you're in a closer zip code, it will most likely go to you. The first agent that clicks accept wins the lead, and then the PrimeStreet CSR calls the winning agent to review the consumer's information and ask if you'd like to work with the client that we have on the line. Now, when we ask you this, you are more than welcome to say no, and we transfer the client to another agent that is, we want to make sure everyone's receiving the best that matches what they're looking for. We want you to receive the clients that you're willing to work with, and we want the client to get to an agent that is a perfect fit. So, that's completely okay. It does not hurt our feelings in any way, shape, or form. Perfect. So whenever you download the PrimeStreet application, you'll have your sales funnel where you'll have access to all of your leads. You can see your leads. You can text, call, email, all directly from the mobile application. Very user-friendly, very easy to get used to. And if you have any issues with glitches, because technology is perfect, right? We have a dedicated support team for you to reach out to, and they'll get you taken care of. So, the next thing I wanted to discuss today is going to be our client interview questions before the warm transfer takes place. And then I'll hop into a few best practices if you get activated onto the platform. And then I'll let you guys have the rest of your meeting. And again, I really appreciate everyone's time. So,
Michael?
Yes, ma'am.
Quick question for you, just to take it back to the beginning.
Absolutely.
Where are you capturing these leads from, and how are you capturing them? Just in general, because they're not going to PrimeStreet's website to search homes, right? So, where does the lead actually start?
Great
how
question.
a bill becomes a law? Maybe I'm aging myself there, but where does the lead actually start?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually do have a place for leads to be submitted on our website. And then we have dozens of lead vendors that we're partnered with for these leads to come through. And then we carefully vet them before we do that warm transfer. One thing I always love to note, because it's very important, we absolutely do not purchase social media leads in any way, shape, or form as well.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're working with other people that, I'm just guessing here, so that are doing digital advertising around real estate, and they actually capture the lead and pass it on to you?
That's correct.
So you are the customer service representative, or as you said, CSR, that's warming up, qualifying, and doing all that before the lead gets passed on to the agent.
That's exactly correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. All right, that helps. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And we are always reevaluating our partnership with these lead vendors as well. We like to see if we're getting more leads that are being returned, then we go back to them. We say, hey, what's going on here? We are always trying to figure out the best way to support our partners, which are you guys. Awesome. All right. So these are the questions that we ask every single client before the warm transfer takes place as well. So we do our best, and this is, we say we do our best because, as you all know, some clients just don't know what they don't know whenever we are asking these questions, and we want to make sure we are relaying these answers accurately to you all as best as possible. So, let's dive deeper into the qualification standards. We do our best to transfer leads that are the clients who are looking to buy or sell within 6 months. We want to make sure that they have a price point of $100,000 and above, and we also double check that they have sufficient credit. Now, we do not ask their specific credit scores, but we ask them where to rate it, if it's poor, fair, good, excellent, and things like that. If they are actively working with another agent and if they have a signed agreement with them, we'll disconnect from them. But if they don't and they'd like to continue, we let you know before that warm transfer takes place as well. We use the standard LP Mama qualification structure that has been industry standard for quite some time now. And we ask just kind of in a different order, as you can see here on my screen. That's based on our conversation flow, as I've mentioned, because we are starting on the softer questions first, and then we move into the harder questions as the interview progresses. And as I've mentioned, everyone, we relay every single answer over to you before that warm transfer has been made. And if the client is not looking like it's going to fit your parameters, you're more than welcome to say no, and we will transfer that over to another agent, and that's completely okay. So we are getting into the enrollment. If anyone is not active just yet, the steps are simple. Shoot me an email, and I'm going to copy and paste my email now into the chat. It's super simple steps, 4 steps here. You complete an entry questionnaire. It takes 4 to 5 minutes for you to complete. You sign an agent agreement that's going to cover all the terms and conditions associated with joining PrimeStreet. You complete an onboarding course. Very simple, very easy. It's just going to show you how to download the application, and set up your profile with some certain settings, and then how to download the application, whether you're on a Android or an iPhone. You go to either the Play Store or the Apple App Store, but you have to have a specific unique code, and you only get that code when you complete your onboarding course. Just to let everyone know. Perfect. All right, so we're going to get into a few best practices today. So whenever you are active in the PrimeStreet application, the first thing that we ask everyone to do is to keep your settings as wide open as possible. What I mean by this, everyone, you're able to set your price point to anything that you'd like and your availability to anything that you'd like. We encourage everyone to keep your minimum price point all the way down to 0, and then your maximum price all the way up to any price, and I'll explain why. This is going to widen your parameters for the algorithm to send you as many invitations for you to click accept or decline. A simple response. Whenever something comes through, whenever a referral comes through, if you click on either one of those actions, clicking either accept or decline, then this is going to be the best way to increase your standing in the algorithm and push yourself up to the top of that totem pole of the graphic that I showed earlier. Right? As I've mentioned, it's going to trickle in 6 to 8 second intervals for you to receive an invitation. For you to be the top, 1 to 5 agents responding is going to be the best thing. And the more that you respond, you need more opportunities to get to you, right? So keeping your settings wide open is going to allow it to send you as many invitations as possible. Full transparency, when this happens, you're going to receive referrals you don't like for the price point, right? They will be too low, and that's okay. And that's why I mentioned clicking decline is still a response, and it does not hinder you in any way, shape, or form. So to respond to as many as you can, keep your referrals up to date, everyone. That's going to be the second metric. At
Michael,
PrimeStreet, yes, ma'am.
just going back 1 second.
Mhm.
So these are all settings that are the type of leads that the agent wants to receive. That's what these settings align with.
That is correct. Yes, ma'am. These settings
And
that you input into the application are going to relate to the settings being sent to your mobile device.
okay, and so then the information that's passed on to the agent before they get to accept or decline, do they get to see all of the info before they can hit decline, or do they only see, hey, I have a lead for you in Naperville, and then they get to accept or decline?
Great question. So it actually gives you the zip code, location, and price point. And so whenever a lead comes through as a notification, and that's all that it comes through as a notification, not via text or email, it's a push notification on your mobile device, just like how Target or any other app sends you push notifications now. Whenever you click on that, it will open up the PrimeStreet app, and it will give you kind of a rundown of what that client is looking for. As I've mentioned, location, price point, zip code, and I believe, oh yes, and if it's a buyer or a seller, and then they have the option to click accept or decline at that point.
Okay.
Correct. Awesome. Yep. And as I mentioned, clicking decline is much more beneficial than not answering it at all. If you are continually going unanswered and not clicking anything, it could cause a failsafe to switch on, and this could exponentially hurt your volume and quality in the long run. So responding to at least 70 to 75% of the leads coming through to your mobile device is going to be best practice.
And I'm going to guess that the reason why you guys do that is because you want to make sure that agents are actively engaged and checking the app and responding to the leads that you're getting, since you're investing in qualifying them verbally on the phone.
That's exactly correct. Yes, ma'am. When we do qualify them and send them over to the team, a response will help you not only with volume but quality. If the algorithm sees that you're responding more and more, it sees that you're more reliable, and it will start to push you at the top of that totem pole and start to send you higher quality referrals as well. Yes. And then the second metric here is going to be staying up to date. So PrimeStreet requires all agents to log into their mobile application to leave a note on the clients that you have active in your sales funnel. If you go past 7 days, everyone, you will be placed under something called an overdue status. This could hinder you in the matching system, and I can pull this up. Again, I can go back to the screen here. So theoretically speaking, if you are number 3 in line to receive a referral, but you've been past the 7-day and you are in an overdue status, this could knock you down to 13, 14 or 15 to receive that referral if you're overdue. So staying up to date is crucial and very, very important. Now, if you go past 14 days, then you will be placed under something called an admin hold. Your account will automatically be paused, and you will not be eligible to receive any future referral invitations until you log in, leave your notes, and then after you've left that note, 24 hours later, you'll be unpaused, and then you'll be eligible to start receiving referrals again. Another quick housekeeping note, everyone: if you get past the admin hold, if you do get placed on admin hold, your agent score will be hindered, which is going to be the next thing and the very last thing I'll talk about today as well. Your agent score is a direct correlation, again, to the volume and quality of leads. All agents start off at a 65, and you can go up or down depending on if you're responding to the leads, keeping your referrals up to date, fantastic. And if you're pushing referrals to different stages in the sales funnel, but if you're continuously going overdue, that could hinder your score, and then you will also see a decline in the quality and the volume of leads coming through into your sales funnel. So the very last thing I wanted to discuss today, everyone, is going to be our webinars. We host one every single month, and I believe the next one is going to be the 17th. Don't quote me on that, but you're able to join these webinars live, and they're hosted over a plethora of different subjects. And if you complete a feedback session at the end of it, you get a 5-point boost to your agent score for 30 days. So, which is great. So, as I've mentioned, your agent score is very helpful for you to receive more leads and higher quality leads. So, everyone gets a notification when the next one is going to be, time and date. So if you're able to join, fantastic. If not, you still have 5 days after the air date to go back, watch that, and get your 5-point boost to your score. But that's all I have for everyone today. Here is my email and agent support's email. I really appreciate everyone's time. Ms. Dana, thank you so much for having me today. I'm going to copy and paste this here. So that's agent support's email. So if you have any issues with your application, reach out to them. They are rock stars. They get back to you really quickly, and they'll help you out with any glitch, any questions, zip codes. They're fantastic. And then here's my email. If you'd like to dig deeper, to have a one-on-one call with me to talk about the algorithm, the application, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I love doing these calls. I love talking about PrimeStreet and the algorithm and how everything works. I'm a huge nerd. Here are the call center hours. So these are the hours that you're able to win leads. The CSR live transfer number, please save this in your phone. Whenever you win a lead, this is the number that will be calling you every single time. You will not be able to call this number, but they call you from this number whenever you click accept and win that lead. And then the very last link here, agents.primestreet.io. If you'd like to update your leads on a computer rather than your phone, because sometimes it's just easier to type on a keyboard, you're more than welcome to go to this link here, sign in, and update your referrals on a desktop application, which is fantastic. So that is all that I have for everyone today. Does anyone have absolutely any questions for me?
Oh, I do.
Absolutely. Fire away.
So how do they sign up? I might have missed that at the very, very beginning, but we hit the ground running in this presentation. So where do they go if they want to enroll?
Absolutely. So if they'd like to enroll, please email me using my email, michael.mcclennan@primestreet.io, and CC your admin, please, just for full visibility. I'm very meticulous in how I do everything. I want to make sure that your admins are aware, and I will respond to your email. You just say, hey, Mike, I would love to get signed up. I will respond to that email with a welcome email with all of the steps and instructions on how to get onboarded.
Okay, you can CC, if anybody is going to do this, you could CC me and Judy, please. And so that would be great. We will be considered the admins for all purposes here. My next question is, tell us a couple of the reasons why agents would say no to a lead. What do you hear? What is your, yeah.
Yeah, great question. Most of the time, it's actually, I would say half and half from what I've seen so far. If it might be a little bit too far, since you have your settings wide open, you're able to set your distance from 5 miles all the way up to 25 miles. Some agents, would not like to drive that far, which is completely fine. And then price point as well. If it's too low, that's completely understandable. But we've also seen price points come through that, a client lets us know, hey, I think I'm only available for 150, but they've get approved for way more. So this is why we, encourage everyone to keep your price point as wide open as possible. Those are the main two that I've seen agents decline referrals that come through on their mobile device.
Okay, that's
Yes,
helpful. Can you talk a little bit again about how agents rank? And then I guess that would correlate to, is there a max agent per zip code? So let's just say a lead comes in. How is Dave going to be the first person that lead would go to in Arlington Heights? How does it work in your system?
Great question. So it's based off of a couple of factors. So the main one is going to be your engagement rate. So we want to make sure everyone is at around a 70 to 75 engagement, and that's going to place you already higher in the matching system. And I can go back to this graphic here. Now, the other thing is ensuring that you're not overdue. That's another factor. And then for the third most important one is going to be your agent score. So the higher you increase your agent score, and that's simply just from moving your clients to the pipeline, responding to the referrals that are coming through, and keeping your referrals up to date, this will place you higher in the matching system as well.
Okay, that's good to know. What about, let's say Candace signs up tomorrow. She doesn't have that. She doesn't have an agent score. She doesn't have, an engagement rate yet. So how's Candace going to get those leads that she wants? And is there a max agent count per zip code? Do you cap it? Like, we will allow 100 agents per zip code to be a part of PrimeStreet, and that's it? Or is it just an unlimited number?
Great question. So to answer it directly, we do not cap it. Time is of the essence whenever you receive a referral invitation and responding to it as fast as you can, because it could go to one agent on the team and it could go to another agent that's on a different team that's using PrimeStreet as well. So responding quickly as possible within, I would say, 10 to 8 to 10 seconds is going to be best practice. And in order to raise your score more and more. So all agents start off with that 65 score, as I've mentioned, and, the application will start sending referrals for you to respond to. The more that you respond, even if it's hitting decline, it will start to raise you'll start to raise yourself higher in that matching system and ensure that you're keeping yourself around the 70 to 75%. Keep that going. And that's going to increase your agent score, and then you'll start to snowball and start doing receiving a higher volume and a higher quality of leads. The first few leads that get sent to your phone are the most important. So please respond to those by either clicking the accept or decline.
Okay, that is helpful too. I guess I'm just going to drill down one more time and say, Candace signs up today. How does the system know how does it pick her to send her the lead first? Like, how does it do that? Because she's brand new.
So good question. So to answer it, it probably will not send her something first since she's a new agent. If she does receive a referral invitation, we want to make sure that she's responding to it. The biggest thing is going to be response. Now, it isn't a round robin. So the agents that have a higher score that don't answer, it will start to send it to the other agents, and receiving those referrals and responding will start to climb yourself out of that pool and get yourself higher in the matching system. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So round robin. Thank you. So that is very helpful, actually. And I guess the name of the game here is, and we know that like 85% of agents don't respond to things, right? Like, that's just a statistic. And so even if somebody is always responsive on here and they're number one and Candace comes in tomorrow, well, that person could be in a closing when that lead comes in and they're not going to respond. And then it's going to bounce to the other people who maybe also aren't going to respond. So it's like speed to lead in that round robin. And that's how you're going to pick a tool, use that tool, and like run with it. So yes, that makes total sense. I just have one more question.
Absolutely. I love it. You're keeping me on my toes today.
This one might keep you on your toes even more.
Perfect.
I just want to know, there's so many different third-party lead providers out there and pay when you close lead providers out there. What makes PrimeStreet different and better for the agent to use than, Sold.com or the OpCity program that's pay when you close? Like, what makes you different?
Yeah, great question. I would always like to say that it's our team. I'm always here to help the agents with questions or any type of help, especially with the agent support. The warm transfer and the way that we vet and carefully vet every single lead is going to be huge. And the warm transfer, the warm transfer is fantastic. You're connected with warmer leads, and it's very beneficial for the agents. Now, I'm very transparent as well. Some of them are not going to be winners. And if you click accept and you do accept it over the phone, but they end up not being, the best lead once you have them in your sales funnel, you're more than welcome to remove them, as long, as if you've done your due diligence to see that they're no longer viable, completely understandable. But yes, the team is just a wonderful team to have. A dedicated support, have a dedicated account manager, and our warm lead transfer process as well.
That was a great answer. Speaking of those warm leads that are coming in, so let me just back it up. Every lead's not going to be an immediate sale. And as realtors, sometimes we want every lead to be an immediate sale, or we think it's a garbage lead. And what I like to try to instill is they are not garbage leads. They need to be nurtured, and you want to keep reminding them to think of you when they think of real estate, because at some point, 6 months down the road, if you're staying in front of them through drip campaigns or an occasional message, they are going to start to ask you questions and they are going to become your client. All of that being said, Dave likes my think of you when I think of real estate line. All of that being said, our agents have access to one of like the top 2 CRM platforms in the country, which is MoxieWorks. And so Moxie has Engage as its CRM, and statistics tell us that agents that fully use Moxie suite of products, and especially Engage, are 52% more productive. Those stats come directly from Moxie. And so all of my long-winded statement here is to say, can these leads that are coming into the app for PrimeStreet also be routed into that agent's MoxieWorks CRM, so that the neighborhood news feature that we have and the automated new lead drip campaign of emails that goes out can be turned on? So not only are they managing it in PrimeStreet, but it also routes directly into Moxie, so that they have this lead in their CRM forevermore until it engages. Because that's how they manage the transaction too. If they use it fully, like there's a transaction management platform component to Moxie.
Great question. Yeah, that's a phenomenal question. So the agent is absolutely able to import the lead over into Moxie manually. We do have an integration with Moxie, but that is at a brokerage level. If you're wanting to connect PrimeStreet to Moxie and have it have a bi-directional sync synergy, where if you update it in Moxie, it will automatically update it in PrimeStreet. We can do that brokerage wide, but for individual agents with their individual leads, that would have to be inputted manually. But yes, yep, you please use Moxie. I have actually a lot of agents that use Moxie and import it. If you're having to do it manually and you update it in Moxie, please ensure that you also update it in PrimeStreet as well, because the application loves updates. It sees that you're engaging, and that's another way to increase your agent score and your standing in the magic system.
Yeah, so I think that they have to use PrimeStreet as the primary, right, to keep their score going.
Correct.
I'm just saying, like, Moxie has a back-end email address that can integrate most third-party lead resources. So that lead comes into PrimeStreet, the agent accepts it. Once they accept it, it also gets directly routed based on this email address into their MoxieWorks. So the drip campaign can turn on and neighborhood news can turn on, not for updating, but for nurturing purposes.
Understood.
And so I'm just wondering if you guys have that possibility with an email routing address.
Okay, so kind of almost kind of like an email parsing. I'll double check on that. I don't believe so, but I want to double check on that. I want to give you a correct answer. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And then I just say, if you do decide to use PrimeStreet and they don't have that automatic routing, then every lead that comes to you that you accept, you want to manually put it into MoxieWorks too and use that as your CRM for neighborhood news and drip campaigns. But I'll open it up to anybody else here on the call if you guys have questions for Michael.
And I believe there's an it's so funny. I'm wearing glasses and I'm still having to squint. Missed the beginning. Is this for buyer leads only? It's buyer and seller, but you can manipulate it in the application to turn those off. Any turn seller off or buyer off, anything that you'd like. Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions?
Thanks for joining us, Michael. We started with PrimeStreet, I think, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yes, sir. It's been around there.
Yeah, and it's been successful. Do not be shy. You guys should absolutely sign up for this. To Dana's point, having conversations about real estate as often as possible will just fine-tune your skills and build your database. So absolutely sign up.
Thank you so much. Are there costs to this? So you didn't talk about that. Very good question, Nisakak. we did not talk about what the referral fee is, or I missed it somewhere. What does that look like, please?
We paid the upfront cost, but Michael, you could talk about the referral cost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this is now signed up through Judy's account. She's the admin of the account, so it might be different, Matt, than what it was like before. So maybe you could elaborate on that a little bit, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. So the referral fee, whenever it's closed, it's a 35% referral fee.
Awesome.
Yes. Yep. 35%. A buyer, seller. And then if you, so we do not purchase rental leads, but if you happen to receive a client that they're interested in, it indicates they're interested in renting, that's a 35% fee as well. But if you can turn those off as well in your application. Yes. Yes.
So the only cost to the agent, period, is a pay when you close, 35% referral.
That is correct.
And there's no tiers of the referral, like if the lead takes 6 months to nurture and close versus closing in 45 days, like if it takes 6 months or a year, does the referral fee go down, or is it always a consistent 35%?
Yes, ma'am. Always a consistent 35%.
Okay. And no cost for enrollment?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else have other questions? All right. Well, thank you, Michael, for being here. Everybody else on the call, thank you for jumping on today. This was recorded, and it's going to be available for you to circle back to on the Leverage homepage under My Leverage and then My Company, My Links. And reach out to me if you have any questions about this, and if you want to enroll, email Michael and copy Judy and me.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day. See you next meeting.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.